Oh my God. She's 14, he's 25. Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally a science. Go ahead and look it up if you want. Today we're jumping back in Tales of Neckbeards, I suppose we'll call it. We got a little bit of a one-off today. It might be tragic. It says tragic right in the title, but it seemed like an interesting story to me, so why not crack it open, see what we got here. It is from one of our returning OPs, user Ethan Ralph is fat, which is just a fact. And he wrote the Guitar Beard saga, if you haven't consumed that quite yet. I'm quite eager to see what else he has got for us. I didn't stream this one on Twitch. I took the day off, decided to go out to the beach with my family. We had a lovely time, but you know I gotta get in here, get this episode recorded, wake up, do some more Twitch in the morning. The grind never stops. Beach trip is over, all right, we're back on the grind, and that's really what I'm all about. I don't even know what to do with time off, honestly. I'm just a mess. But I hope that it's good for you guys, because it's certainly good for me. So let's go ahead, we'll get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this Tales of Neckbeards cringe. The tragic tale of Alice. You don't mean Alice Cooper, right? School's out for the summer or something like that? That's a reach, man. Just trying so hard to shove any joke I can into the title. Well, some are winners and some are not. At least I can admit that. Hello, one and all. It is I, Ethan Ralph is fat. Still, an amazing username. Not quite Mommy Honker Donkers level, but it still gives me a chuckle. I come to you with a tale that requires telling. Oh my God, he's contractually obligated to do this. Everybody stand back. The Greek tragedy that is my friend Alice. Oh, I feel bad for Alice already. Some people get to live through comedies, some people get to live through tragedies. Luckily, my life has been mostly comedy, a little bit of tragedy, but I don't know if my baggage will stack up to what Alice has to offer. A lot of this will be preamble because while I could turn this into an entire series, I'm not sure that that is what needs to be told. Ah, very nice, short and sweet, one and done. I do appreciate you. Hopefully we'll just get loaded down. We can get all of the story that we need in one healthy, helpful sitting. Fingers crossed. You don't need the whole sordid history of beards that this poor woman has dragged herself through. I think I can broad stroke a lot of this, and you would be about as informed as I am. It seems like our OP has a way of gravitating towards broken women, trying to fix them. That's exactly what happened in the Guitar Beard saga, and it did sort of work out, so I'm hopeful that he'll be able to do the same for Alice, or at least have a hand in her recovery. Anyways, that being said, we got a trigger warning right out of the freaking gate. Triggers present are domestic abuse, grooming, attempted murder, and a woman's complete loss of autonomy. Man, this is going to be a rough one. Tragic tale indeed, but that's all right. That's what I signed up for. You can tell it was posted relatively recently, and I was like, yeah, we'll check that out. Get a little bit of feels going. That's really what I'm looking for today. Just a good OP that makes me feel some stuff besides anger, because I've been feeling a lot of anger recently, so some sad might balance me out or something like that. If all that sounds too rough for you, well, it was nice having you around up until this point. Yes, do feel free to dip out at any point when it gets too heavy. Sometimes people leave comments, they're like, I had to dip, ReddX. I'm like, yeah, don't sweat it. Ideally, everybody would watch every single video, but that's not gonna happen ever. I don't want to force you to have to sit through something that you won't enjoy. We got plenty of other videos on the channel. Anyways, without further ado, we will get into our main cast list. Our cast. We've got OP. This is me. Still kind of a femboy. I have lost a lot of my edge in my old age. I mean, I'm not that old, but I enjoy LARPing as a boomer. At what point does it not become LARPing anymore? It started that way. I'm like, you guys, I'm super old. And then some recent stories have made me actually feel my age. I'm like, Jesus, I don't think I'm going to be able to swing this forever. We'll see how it goes. I enjoy the casual use of psychedelics and THC to cope with my ever-growing panic disorder. God damn. Have you talked to a therapist about that? You know, maybe lay off the copium for a minute and like actually confront your problems head on. But hell, what do I know? I never do. Do as I say, not as I do. I also tend to find myself with a large group of female identifying friends that don't have it so good. Yes, I have noticed that pattern. I don't know what it is about me that causes this to happen, but it's just an anomaly in my life. It is awful weird how things like that line up sometimes. I can't explain it either. This is just the journey that you need to take, I suppose. Alice is, well, Alice, and she'll be covered in more depth in the prologue, but I will say here that she's a stereotypically small girl, about 5 feet tall and very thin. She's a better person than she knows, but is constantly controlled by men with the self-esteem of a jealous 14-year-old. God, I hate it already, dude. I have to wonder what it is about her past that makes her gravitate towards these sorts of men for relationships. Surely there are better choices to be made out there. Please, can we make some different choices? Not even better, just different. Go against what you've been doing because it doesn't seem to be working, right? Despite all my efforts to convince her to spend some time alone, she always finds herself jumping into relationships. She's been my friend for most of my adult life, and because of that, I have seen more than I would like to, honestly. She also reads a lot of romance novels, which we won't hold against her. Although that may be part of what's feeding into this delusion. Honestly, I identify a lot with that jumping from relationship to relationship, being scared to be alone, but that is absolutely not the way to be. I do hope she'll figure that out at some point, or at least get into a relationship that is, you know, not toxic, but sort of codependent. I think that's what Wifey and I do. One of us, like, 100% refuses to go anywhere without the other one. And I love that. We have a good time together. No toxicity involved. Confederatebeard is CB for short. Honestly, I can't really add much to this description that the name doesn't already imply. All right, sum that one right up. Alcoholic, casual racist, former felon, and all-around general life-ruining scum. Ooh, particularly hateable, but that's what I've been thirsting for, is some beards that we can actually sink our teeth into, not just OPs, because that's how it's been going for the past month of May, and I don't know why that is. So yes, I understand he's a degenerate scumbag, but that's great. I'm happy for that. Let me tear him apart. Bring him here. We've got Hubbybeard, HB for short. This would be the groomer of the tale. God, I was sort of suspecting that when OP said that she's like 5 foot nothing and skinny. That attracts a lot of weird sorts of dudes, you know what I'm saying? I don't really have any tips for how you can push against that, other than being exceedingly aware that that is a thing that happens. This is a man with the patience of a fire ant and enough rage to give lesser men a blood clot. Well, that's too bad. Lesser men, he says. I'd really like to see this dude just like have a stroke, get super upset over nothing and die on the sidewalk. And I'd be like, oh, good. One less borderline pedophile to deal with. See what I mean? Despicable beards. Yes. Give it to me. I want it. Moneybeard is MB for short, the primary beard of this tale. An absolute controlling lunatic of an individual that puts most manipulators to shame. Lives in a fantasy world where he believes that he'll one day be a professional DJ. That's adorable, dude. There are people that do it and do it well, but apparently Moneybeard is not one of them. OP says, yes, despite his being absolutely awful at the craft of DJing? Yeah, I guess. It's not something that I'd step up to do, so I guess it counts as a craft. Honestly, it's hard to even call this man a beard. He's very clean, very organized, holds down a job. He does everything that you would expect from a normal person. No, the beard is on the inside with this one. You shall see what I mean. Hey, he said it. Beard on the inside. That's what counts. That's right. Pick up the t-shirt over at Teespring. Thank you so much. We've been dropping a lot of these plugs recently, and I am loving it. We also got some new Teespring t-shirts over there, such as Did You Bang a Leg Beard, Bro? Shouts out to Gentu in the Discord chat for whipping that one up. Absolutely beautiful. There are also side characters in this story that will be mentioned in passing. If you see a name pop up once or twice, they probably don't matter all that much to the story. God, fingers crossed, seatbelts fuckled. Are you guys ready to get into this? It might get heavy, but we shall weather the storm together, friends. Prologue. I met Alice before I even went to college. Working at a failing Blockbuster together, we quickly became friends. Oh, I love that. I used to work at a Radio Shack that was right next to a Blockbuster. Both of them failing businesses. So yeah, we became friends with the Blockbuster people. I got a lot of love, a lot of nostalgia for Blockbuster and employees of Blockbuster. I like gossip, and Alice always had a lot of it. Ooh, chismosa. A little bit of casual drama, never destroyed anything. Yeah, really? Okay, then. You enjoy what you enjoy. You live your best life. I just know it ain't for me. I'm gonna stay in my own lane like 90% of the time. We got on well for a long time, and everything seemed alright. That was until the day that Hubbybeard showed up at her work and saw us talking. Oh, was she dating Hubbybeard? Uh-oh. I mean, really, it shouldn't be an uh-oh to talk with your coworkers, but from what we know of Hubbybeard, yeah, it's gonna be a situation. All the self-esteem of a jealous 14-year-old. So accurate. He didn't take kindly to that. He ended up having a full-on mental breakdown about her talking to male coworkers. Oh no! How dare you! Bro, take a break, alright? Go stand yourself in the corner for a few minutes and calm down. This is so ridiculous. Yes, sometimes you have to work with the opposite gender. It's not a big deal. Have you ever seen two people having a screaming match in public? It was exactly that. Oh God, what a mess. At least she was screaming back, from what I understand. The way he talked to her was not okay. You gotta leave this job now. You can't be working around other men. I forbid it. I'm the man of the house and you have to do what I say. The man of the house, he says. I think little boy of the house would be far more accurate. Look at you. Look at you, so insecure, you fucking mess. Get a hold of yourself. Just stick your hands out. Hold on to something and get a grip, for God's sake. It's like the most ridiculous fight I've ever seen. Not even really a fight. For no reason other than he is a giant, insecure man, baby. He went on like this for a long time, while Alice shrank like an undernourished flower. Oh, she didn't scream back? Poor little thing, that's all right. You gonna get away from this dude soon enough, right? And then latch on to another loser, but I guess we'll just value the few days in between now and then. He dragged her out screaming, she fucking quits! You just quit my job for me. How is this at all acceptable? God damn. I feel so bad for Alice. You know she's been through some stuff earlier in her life in order to just decide that this is okay. This is how people love each other. This is all normal. It's not fucking normal. Please leave ASAP. Now, I was the manager on duty that day, and I decided to not report the incident because she needed the job, and the job market was shit in her area. Yeah, I would never take somebody else's word for it. Yes, this person, they're quitting this job. Well, I need to hear that from them. Duh. So no, instead I called Alice and offered to put her on shifts that would allow her to work while her husband was at work. Oh God, I guess it's a workaround, but if he finds out, it's gonna be double. It's gonna be even worse. Just leave this loser. You're married to this loser? Get a divorce. Annul that shit ASAP. God, Alice, I want so much better for you. I want the world for you. Why can't you see that you deserve it? This would hopefully prevent the same nonsense from occurring. Yeah, I'm not too hopeful. She ended up telling Hubbybeard that she would be returning and was scheduled to work with mostly female coworkers. It's so ridiculous. Was it a lie? Yes. Do I condone such behavior? Questionable. Considering what I had seen, I was becoming increasingly aware that she needed an escape from that house. Yeah, just that one incident is enough. The whole world can see that she needs to get the hell out of there. Honestly, what other option do you have than to lie at this point? Obviously, the big man of the house isn't bringing home enough salary to support both of you. She needs to work. So, god damn, dude. I hate him. Tell me where he lives. I just want to talk to him.
I just want to talk to him.
Why do you have a shotgun?
I just want to talk to him.
It was after this incident that she let the floodgates open. Every shift with her became a deluge of admittances about her circumstances. Oh man, that is just so rough. Yes, I want to listen. I don't necessarily want to be trauma dumped on unless you're making moves to do something about it and change your circumstances. But OP's a good kid, you know? He's always a helper, even in the Discord, always such a helper. So he definitely took this on, helped her to shoulder her baggage, and he should be applauded for it. You see, Alice is what you might call a troubled kid. Yeah, I could suss that out already. She acted out, not in small part due to some form of manic depression that caused her to make some not great choices. Her words and diagnosis, not mine. Yeah, is this clinically diagnosed, or are you sitting there like self-diagnosing through Google? Not 100% sure I buy into the diagnosis, but she definitely does have something going on, so I'll let it slide. Her parents didn't feel equipped to deal with her, so she spent a lot of her younger years in what is essentially a glorified sanitarium. Didn't feel equipped to deal with her? That's your child. What? Oh, god damn it, dude. What a couple of failures. How do you bend so easily? How do you give up just like that? You're like, yeah, I don't know. Take her away. Wow, what is wrong with you? I hope you have a massive amount of shame about that, Alice's parents. Essentially, it was some hybrid of mental health assistance and education. Highly medicated and miserable when she was released at the age of 14, it's not surprising that she rebelled like hell. Yeah, that's when all those hormones are kicking up, and that's when they dumped them back on the parents. Oh, you reap what you sow. Although it does seem like she was clinically diagnosed for this mental disorder, so it does shed a lot of light onto why she's making the decisions that she's making. Alice quickly got into weed and progressed to crack pretty quickly. Jesus. I don't even know how one progresses into the other. One's like a cool, chill leaf, and the other one is like, yeah, I just lit this rock on fire, and I've never felt like I've really been alive before. Just electricity running through your body. No. I'll stick with the weed. That's fine. The impetus for this would be a younger Hubbybeard, somewhere around the age of 25 at the time. Oh my God. She's 14, he's 25.
FBI, open up!
Groomer was 100% correct. I thought it was, some sidelong language or something like that, but no. 100%. Okay, groomer. And by okay, I mean not fucking okay. Somebody go stand him up against the wall. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. He was her weed dealer. And then, under the guise of a party invite, ended up being coerced into hooking up with him. She got pregnant, and her parents were reasonably apoplectic. Read really mad for the uninitiated. This whole thing is such a mess, bro. I hate it. But at the end of the day, like, who can you really blame for it? Alice is the one getting kicked around by her parents, and so of course she clings on to somebody who seems like a source of stability in Hubbybeard and just gets kicked around even more. Definitely a hard one to stomach, man. I thought I knew what I was getting into, but this is way more tragedy than I even know how to process in this moment. Phew, this resulted in a shotgun wedding, which was apparently legal in their previous state of residence. Why that's legal is beyond me, but yeah, that's what happened. Romeo and Juliet laws are fucked in some states. 7 years later, she had 4 kids at home and was completely miserable. I dare say, reasonably so. What's that, 21, 22, 4 kids running around? Jesus Christ. This is horrible. How did life take such a dark turn? Why are you still sticking around with this piece of shit? While I do understand that you've spent a certain amount of years with him, it's called the sunk cost fallacy, okay? Just because you've spent 7 years completely miserable doesn't mean that you should spend the next 70 years completely miserable. It's time to go. But yeah, she feels trapped. What happens to the kids? Such a catch-22. My mind is so full of fuck. Oh, Alice. My heart goes out to you for real. We became good friends after that. We talked a lot and hung out when we could. I was just being a patient ear that was willing to listen. And boy, did she ever have a lot to say. She always seemed better afterwards, though. It was the most I could do as a bystander. All I could do was listen. Sometimes that's really all you need to do. Maybe some slight nudging in the right direction. If she ever says, I feel like I should leave, you jump on that. You're like, you should. Change is scary, but it's almost always for the best. Come on, Alice, I believe in you. This worked for a long time, but eventually Hubbybeard grew very possessive and restricted contact. You really gonna get all possessive when she is just hanging out with like a self-admitted femboy? Come on. The only release that she has, the only outlet in sight. And I think that's the main reason that he wanted to shut it down completely. So this is where there's a gap in information as Alice quickly left the job and cut contact. Holy God. This is like so majorly concerning. But yeah, as a bystander, what can you really do? Encourage her to make the right choice, but you can't make the right choice for her. God, I hate it. About a year after that, when I was in college, I got a call from her telling me that she was leaving her husband. Oh, thank you, Alice. Yes, please. Apparently, he had done a pretty bad domestic assault on her. The case of assault was her catching him fucking her friend and being upset by that. Oh my God, dude. So dirty. So horrible. And you beat the shit out of your wife for that? You're the one that should be taking the punishment, you big beardy fuck. Now, like I said, get against the goddamn wall. Oh, it's bad feels all around. At least she doesn't get sucked back in, right? Please tell me she doesn't get sucked back in. Oh, I took some time off to help her get his shit out of her house. Yes, yes! We reconnected during that time, and she seemed to be doing much better after about 2 weeks of being alone. Sadly, all good things come to an end. It was around this time that I realized Alice is what some might call a serial monogamist. Yeah, I love that term. That is me to a T. I feel so seen. Okay. It's not always a bad thing necessarily, but yeah, what you really need to do is step away from expecting other people to fix you and work on yourself a little bit. That is how we succeed in this life. Of course, I didn't do any of those things, but again, do as I say, not as I do. To put it more simply, she just has a lot of trouble being alone. I could only hypothesize the reason for this, and therefore, I will not put forward a hypothesis out of respect. Oh, I hypothesized a little bit earlier too, didn't I? Apologies for that. I meant no disrespect, okay? Sometimes I just wax poetic. Sometimes I just get these theories in my head and they come out my mouth before I could filter it. My bad. This resulted in her making a pass at me that was unreciprocated. One, because I legitimately was dealing with being asexual and coping with a sexual assault that I had suffered. And two, because I thought she really would be better spending some time alone. I'm a big proponent of giving yourself a lot of breathing room after any breakup. And you are 100% right about that, OP. She really is just like reaching out, looking for male attention of any kind. Does she have any like female friends that she can go to with this type of stuff? Preferably somebody that would not take advantage of her. See, that is why things are so difficult. She reaches out to OP. OP's like, you're not in the position. I'm not gonna take advantage of this situation you're in. But she continues to reach out to somebody else, and eventually she finds somebody who will take advantage of her. And it just sucks, man. Being alone is scary, but that is the best time for self-reflection. But again, I'm kind of talking to a wall here. What's done is done, and unfortunately, quite sadly, I knew not of the lurking vulture just next door. Enter Confederatebeard, as southern as they come, and twice as racist. Oh, I probably should have used the Hubbybeard voice for Confederatebeard, but alright, whatever. I think he's just gonna be a whiny little dude. He was an old friend of hers from before her marriage, and when I say old, I mean old. Oh, God, dude, it's daddy issues, isn't it? I don't want to theorize either. It's just falling out of my mouth. This man was about 45 to her 21 years of age. Oh, God, I hate it. So bad. So bad. They got together, and everything seemed okay at first. Yeah, that good old honeymoon phase. You gotta love it. Until the real colors start showing. Then, slowly, I started hearing some of the same things that I had already heard from her. Alice, look, I'm not going to be calling as much because Confederatebeard gets jealous and angry. Hearing this set off my repeat behavior alarm, and I had to speak up. As you should. You're trying to save your friend from another 7 years of heartache, aren't you? You don't gotta explain it to me. I am 100% on board with you speaking up. After seeing another friend go down a similar path before, I had to try and break the cycle. Maybe I tried too hard. Maybe I didn't try hard enough. Maybe there really is nothing that one can say. I mean, try is the most that you can do. They do need to make the decision for themselves, but at least present them with the option. The option is there. OP, look, You've only been with this guy for like a month, and he's already doing this kind of stuff? Alice, what kind of stuff? OP, the same stuff that your husband was doing. Being possessive. Restricting your access to other people. Alice, oh, it's fine. This is just normal couple stuff. Oof, God, that hurts. Like I said way earlier on, this is what she sees as normal. I don't think she's ever had a normal relationship depicted to her. Her parents, obviously just complete messes. Her marriage, yeah, that was a complete sham as well. So her entire perspective is skewed. Ah, God, I just feel so bad, man. The truth is, you really can't save them all. You gotta pick one angel with the broken wings, and I picked wifey, but Alice, come on. It's time to see the truth. Please. OP says, no, this is very not normal. You have to know that this is very not normal. Alice, it'll be fine. He'll calm down and everything will be normal. I just have to get through to him. OP, oh, please don't tell me you're going with the I think I could change him shit. I don't know if that's the approach to take. You probably don't want to meet this with any sort of vitriol, or she will cut you off and feel justified in doing it because her boyfriend said so or something like that. You aren't wrong, but maybe it requires a softer touch. Confederatebeard had at this point snatched her phone and began yelling in my general direction. I say in my general direction because he seemed to be mad at everything. Yeah, as most racists are, they're not very smart. They don't understand subtlety or nuance. Meet everything with anger and that'll fix it for sure. I wish I could pretend that I was surprised that he was standing there listening to this the entire time, but I guess I'm not. He's monitoring all of her phone calls, etc., etc. God damn. I am hoping so hard for some redemption, some catharsis at the end of all of this. Confederatebeard says, look, Alice doesn't need anyone except me. Yeah, right. Is it her that needs you or is it you that needs her? Because I have a strong theory about that. Talking to people like you is only gonna mix her up, okay? She only needs me. Her parents and you could both fuck off. I'll take care of everything. She doesn't need friends. God, where have we heard this before? This record is on repeat. How are you not putting two and two together about all this? I do feel horrible for Alice, but I also feel pretty bad for OP. Like, he sees the freight train coming, about to smash into her, and there's just nothing that he can do to stop it. He's been like, hey, move, get off the tracks. And she's like, it's gonna be fine. And then she's just popped into a bloody mist and everybody's like, oh, Jesus, how did something terrible like that happen? Well, quite simply, I blame everybody around her except OP. Her views on the world have just been poisoned, essentially. I don't know how you fix something like that. And with that very heavy note in the air, I was hung up on. I received an apology text at some ungodly hour that went ignored for a time. Yeah, she had to text you at 3 a.m. when fuckhead was sleeping. Oh, it's such a mess. I have to admit, dealing with the same bullshit over a decent friendship was an emotional balancing act, and I didn't have the wherewithal to deal with it at the time. Yeah, that's the trouble of taking on other people's emotional baggage, isn't it? That's why I said I feel bad for OP as well. How much energy do I have as a person to save this other person who doesn't really accept the fact that they need to be saved? Ugh, just seems like wasted energy. It would be a hard situation for me to walk away from, but honestly, I think I would walk away. After this many years on the planet, I have learned that if somebody continues to punch themselves in the face, you've told them to stop, you've offered them advice, and they continue to do it, like, After a certain point, how is it feasible to even continue trying? Maybe a little bit harsh, however, it is quite sad but true, at least in my experience. Now, to be clear, OP had not completely written Alice off, but I was not going to get screamed at over trying to have a chat with a friend. Eventually, though, she reached out again, and it all ended up playing out quite predictably. Is she leaving Confederatebeard, please? Fingers crossed. We talked on and off as her relationship with Confederatebeard continued to devolve into a fucking hurricane of emotional and physical abuse. Whatever you do, don't say I told you so. The best we can do at this moment is get her the hell out. Again. All my attempts to get her to kick him out fell on deaf ears. All I could do was listen. And again, I did. Dude, how do you have the energy for this? You are a superhuman, OP, to take care of all the crap that you probably have going on in your life around this time and still have energy reserves set aside for Alice. That's amazing. It does frustrate me in a way, maybe because I don't have those extra energy reserves. But you should feel really proud of yourself for never failing to be there for people. And I've experienced that too in the Discord. Amazing person. But yeah, all of this bullshit would continue on for about a year before their relationship came to an abrupt end when Confederatebeard fired a gun in her general direction. Holy God, dude. I hope Alice is alive at the end of this story. What the hell? I don't know if he intended to shoot her and just sucked at shooting, or if it was an act of intimidation. Either way, it was an act of attempted murder that got him carted off to jail. Oh, thank God for that. At least somebody reported it to the police. Good God, do you realize how close you came to silence and darkness forever? Oh, God, Alice, stop it. You're breaking my heart over here, dude. And yes, again, Alice was alone and vulnerable and soon descended down the path of alcoholism. This resulted in her losing her 4 kids, which are now divided up amongst her family, losing her job and barely making ends meet, and a rapid descent into depression. Oh my God, dude. Pull up on the yoke, okay? We don't have to crash the whole plane into the sea quite yet. You're young, it's not over, you can make it. It's not worth it. Just please do something different. Make different choices. Oh, I tried to be there for her during this time as much as I could. I was starting a career and I couldn't invest too much time into helping her, but you still set aside some time. Don't downplay that, OP. You are a fucking huge person. Bigger than myself, for sure. To some degree, I do feel some guilt over that. Don't. But if you can't help yourself, then you can't help anyone. There was a time when I needed to make sure that my future was secure, and truth be told, I am nobody's keeper. Which is 100% the take that I have. I would probably feel really torn about the decision, but yeah, at the end of the day, I gotta look out for number one. I don't know how much time I can break off for you, Alice, but hot damn, OP just endless good in his art. I love it. I love it so much, dude. I don't want you to feel any guilt over this anymore because I would have been far worse in this situation, and I can accept that about myself. So maybe that is callous or apathetic, but I truly feel that I made the right choice for me. And that's what you gotta do, dude. During this turbulent time, though, I did help her financially a bit, as I thought it would only be a matter of time before she got back up on her own 2 feet. And I was almost right. Jesus. God. The catharsis is right there. It's like carrot on the stick is dangling right in front of me. It's like, yeah, she almost got it together until, surprising me in many ways, she remained single for about 6 months. Then entered Moneybeard, and the cycle was primed to go around once more. The storm clouds were on the horizon, and the undeniable smell of a diaper hurricane wafted across the wind. Diaper hurricane? Yeah, sure, why not? God damn, 6 months, you almost got it together. Just a little more time by yourself. You could have figured it out, stood on your own 2 feet, been like, I don't need no man. Which is not the way to be 100% of the time, but it is something that you need to prove to yourself. Don't let this happen, Alice. You're better than that. Oh, but I know it's gonna happen. So that's the end of the prologue, and this brings us to the meat of the tragedy of Alice. Oh man, please, no more. She almost died. How much worse could it get? Alice was working in some dive bar who had hired a new bouncer. This bouncer instantly took a liking to Alice, and by all descriptions, he seemed like a nice guy. A nice guy or a good guy? Because we don't like nice guys around here. Yeah, he seemed like a good guy, but he is a nice guy on the inside. You can't talk to other dudes. Oh, you almost died in your past relationship? Well, you picked it. It's because you weren't dating me. And then he proceeds to abuse her. Yes, tale as old as time. Ugh, and never gets any easier to digest. He even seemed like he might be more or less mentally stable. It's a lot to hope for, honestly. He sounded great and seemed like an okay guy. I was really happy for her. I thought, this is what I've been wanting for her. To finally have that romance and happy ending I've seen others like her receive. Oh, how I wish my optimism would have been rewarded by the universe. It rarely is, honestly. I am proud of you for trying to look on the bright side, but yeah, some days it's difficult. I first met Moneybeard at Alice's house. I was coming by for some casual weed smoking and to watch some shitty movie. Moneybeard was there to greet me at the door. Moneybeard,
Hey, how's it going? I'm Moneybeard. Nice to meet you, OP.
he said this while meeting my extended hand, which he grabbed and squeezed very firmly with both of his hands. Oh yeah, tough guy, huh? I'm a bouncer at a bar. I'm a real tough guy. I'll call it out. I'll be like, hey, try that again, but shake my hand like a normal fucking person. And then you have the power in the room. Social contract be damned. It don't help nobody. So this was the kind of overly aggressive and firm handshake that says quite a lot about a person. What said more was how long he maintained his grip, and the fact that his face didn't match the emotion of his voice. Flat effect, dude. He's a total serial killer. You need to get Alice out of that house ASAP. 5 seconds of knowing this guy, I'm already worried. Alice says, good to see you, OP, Alice said, bounding out past him to hug me. I never liked hugs. Personally, I like a lot of personal space, but I always gave Alice a pass. If anyone needed a hug from time to time, it was her. Both graciously and concerningly, the hug was cut abruptly short as the large frame of Moneybeard pried her off of me before pulling her to his side. Red flag number 2. Don't wait for number 3. It's coming. Within the first 5 seconds of knowing you, you have already done this. Bro, it's over. I don't like you. You don't like me? That's fine. I don't like you either. We're gonna have fucking problems, you mook. At this point, I was already getting some red flags. Yes. But I chalked it up to being overly concerned about my friend's new companion. No, OP. Always trust that gut instinct, alright? It's 100% right. 99% of the time. 60% of the time it works. Every time. After 2 dumpster fires, I had little interest in seeing another, so I was possibly just being a bit overcautious. Don't talk yourself out of it. Hold on to that feeling. It's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess and I hate it. OP says, so what nonsensical Nicholas Sparks inspired schlock are you gonna subject me to tonight, Alice? Alice? Well, actually, Moneybeard wants to watch his sports ball team, so we're watching sports ball. OP? Oh, so no movie? Bro, somebody's coming over to watch a movie. How you gonna get trampled over like that? This is red flag number 3 as far as I'm concerned. Get her out of that fucking house ASAP. Moneybeard says,
Hey, I got money riding on this game. She doesn't need to be watching that shit anyways. It'll rot her brain. Romance like in the movies isn't real.
oh my god, dude. It's total Naruto headband vibes coming through right here. He's like, just give up on it, honey. Prince Charming doesn't exist. It's like, just because you're not Prince Charming, refuse to even try, doesn't mean that he doesn't exist, you piece of shit. Alice? Yeah, I can watch my movies whenever I want. She said this with a downward inflection that I had come to know all too well. It was the voice that she used to hide her disappointment. Alice, darling, let me tell you a little something right now, a little secret you can pack away for later, all right? The first few weeks of a relationship are the best that it is ever going to get. If you're getting treated like a piece of shit, an object during those first few weeks, run, because it is only going to get worse. This is the pinnacle. Her activities being pushed aside so he can watch stupid sports ball. Him talking about her like she's not standing right fucking there. Oh God, I hate him. How many more red flags do we need, OP? Even if there's 100 red flags, how can OP make her do anything about the situation? Oh, it's so difficult to stomach, man. But yes, I obliged and went in with them to watch some sports ball. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of most sports. I like UFC and boxing because I do understand those sports. Sports ball games, though, are not my cup of tea. Moneybeard seemed really into it, though, cheering and booing as though he were in the stands at the stadium. Oh, God. That's almost as cringe as clapping after the movie. Take a break, bro. You're done. To call his level of volume obnoxious was a massive understatement. After enduring 20 minutes of this, I removed a blunt from the box that I brought with me and lit it up. I took 2 hits and tried to pass it to Alice. Oh no, dude. He's not gonna let her smoke either. How else am I supposed to endure all this bullshit? Moneybeard says,
You know, she shouldn't be smoking that. She has manic depression. Also, be a gentleman and roll one for her. Don't make her swap spit with you. What are you, some kind of creep?
Yeah, it takes one to know one. Now shut your cock-holster mouth and let your lady hit this. You see what I did there? That's from yesterday. Kevin in the Big Rig, cock-holster mouth. I love it. I told you I was keeping it in my back pocket for later. I was caught off guard by his ability to stop being enchanted by sports ball and his breaking of stoner decorum. In an effort to avoid conflict, I obliged. No, conflict is what he needs, okay? From the way that OP describes himself, I guess he's not like as physically intimidating. I can really only run it through like my frame of reference, and I would not oblige. I'd be like, fuck you, bro, this is what we do now. What are you gonna do, kick me out of your house? And then he's like, yeah, I will. And I'm like, okay, move me. Let's stop pulling our punches, all right? Let's lay all our cards out on the table. I don't like you, you don't like me. It doesn't matter what you think about me because I think you're a piece of shit. I've been seeing red flags ever since I walked through the front door. I've been seeing so many red flags that China would be jealous. And then whatever, we punch each other and everybody gains a newfound respect for one another. That's how it works where I'm from. But yes, OP did oblige. Probably the easier path to take. I produced another pre-rolled blunt from my box and handed it to her. We sat smoking and talking about the old times at Blockbuster. We were giggling about a coworker who had a nasty habit of injuring himself. This went on for an all too short time before Moneybeard had to chime in.
You two are distracting me from the game. And that shit stinks. Why don't you take it outside?
Yeah, first you take it outside, then you get in the car, then you leave completely, then you never come back. Gracious for the invitation, I went outside with her and sat on the porch. We smoked for a while in silence. OP, so what's his deal? Great question. let me lay it out for you. But instead, Alice, I guess playing dumb. Maybe she really doesn't see it. But a big part of me believes that she's just playing dumb and hoping that it'll all turn out different, which is never the case. And Alice says, what do you mean? OP, well, he's being kind of rude. Did I do something to upset him? Alice, no, I don't think so. He just gets really into his sports. He also doesn't like me smoking, but I told him it's my choice. There it is, little bit of shiny spine shining through. Come on, we can make it grow. I know we can. Just do that with everything else in your life, Alice. It's gonna be fine. OP just says, oh, well, I guess as long as you're happy, I'm happy. I said this in my best happy for you tone, but something already seemed off to me. I just buried it though, because I didn't want to drag down the fun that we were having. And that is true. The longer you wait in situations like this, the more awkward it gets. That's why I come out of the gate saying some wild shit. People know exactly where it is I stand. I'm not putting up with anything ever. I'm too old already. I've endured too much. I don't give a single goddamn anymore. We both just continued to shoot the shit until Dry Mouth kicked in. OP, hey, you want to go grab some drinks from the gas station? I feel like my mouth has been geographically displaced to the Sahara. Alice, yeah, let's do it. God, this is going to be another freak out, isn't it?
How dare you leave the house without my permission?
Get over yourself, you fucking nobody. So we walked to the gas station about 2 blocks away and grabbed some slushies. Slushies are awesome, and that is a hill I'm willing to die on. I will stand on that hill alongside you, OP. On our way back, she received a frenetic phone call. Here it comes. I could hear him yelling something and her apologizing profusely. She explained that we had just gone to the gas station for some drinks, and the yelling inexplicably continued. It continued right up until we reached her porch. We saw Moneybeard screaming into his phone. When he saw us, he had hung up and rushed over to us.
Okay, that's enough adventure for tonight. Why don't you come in and we'll finish watching the game?
Enough adventure for tonight? Why don't you come in? Who do you think you are, my fucking dad? No. I'm gonna live the life that I want to live, because guess what? I only get one life. It's time to buck, and buck hard. Alice sort of tries to buck, I guess, as she says, well, I wanted to stay outside and smoke some more with OP. Moneybeard.
Another time. Remember when I told you about being disrespectful? It's that kind of attitude that got you into bad waters.
He really does talk like an old-ass man, doesn't he? Come here, daughter of mine, whom I'm also want to get married to. Are we sure this ain't Confederatebeard? Stop treating your significant other like they're a child. What the hell's wrong with you? Alice kind of placates him and just says, yes, dear. Well, that shiny new spine didn't last for long, did it? But it is in there, you know? She's not a complete doormat. She tries to stand up at things that she feels she needs to stand up for. She just needs to do it a lot more often. I know it can happen. I know it's in there, Alice. I fucking believe in you. She said this as she walked past him into the house. I tried to follow, but found myself being blocked and sized up by someone who was well outside my weight class.
Yeah, I think she spent enough time with you tonight. Why don't you go home?
See, look, this sociopath is not scared to break the social contract. You gotta meet force with force. Pepper spray him right now, OP. I know he's outside your weight class, but you could pepper spray him. I guess the smart thing to do would just be to retreat. Like, okay, fine, whatever. OP doesn't retreat immediately, though, and he says, well, I made plans to be here for a handful of hours. I can ask her if she wants me to leave. Moneybeard.
I'm her man, and I'm telling you, she wants you to leave. She doesn't want you around here.
Oh, we're just putting words in her mouth now, huh? Let me hear that from her, how about? See, I'm not really good at the de-escalation thing. I always kick it up to the next level, and I can't help myself. I just get real hot under the collar real quick. OP, I don't think she would have invited me over if that was the case. Oh yeah, OP, bringing the heat. Moneybeard.
I'm telling you that's the case. You're a bad influence, and she needs to avoid people like you.
Okay, Dad.
Daddy, chill.
Oh my God. I stick with the theory. He's not looking for a girlfriend. He's looking for a child. What a fucking scumbag, bro. Put him up against the wall. We got 3 of them today. All exceedingly hateable for their own special reasons. At this point, I was at an impasse. Calling her out to confirm would only escalate the situation and possibly make things go poorly for her. I saw the writing on the wall, and again, for the 3rd time in our friendship, I was walking away because of some shit stain. As I walked to my car, I heard him shout at me, Moneybeard.
That's right. Walk away like a little bitch. Don't let me catch you coming around again.
See, you knew he had to have the last word. That's why I gotta hit him with the okay, Dad. And then we're probably in a fight. But you know what? I ain't backing down from that either. I don't care if I lose a fight. You will understand that I'm down for my shit. You could take him. Outside your weight class, okay. Just donk him in the chin one time real good. It's gonna be fine. I did feel the heat rise in my face as I considered violence. Being massively outsized by Moneybeard and not wanting to kill my career prospects, I chose to continue walking away. It is the bigger thing to do. Like I said, you're a bigger man than me, OP. I don't know if I could help myself, honestly. He will lose out in the end. I only hope that Alice doesn't lose out before he loses out, if you know what I'm saying. I'd like to take a small break to discuss something. People who end up in abusive relationships tend to end up in more abusive relationships. It's just a thing that happens. It's what makes any form of interpersonal abuse so reprehensible to me. Be it emotional or physical, it causes damage that takes a long time to patch over, and it never truly goes away. This is not always the case, though, and it is what makes Alice such a tragedy to me. She is a smart, caring woman with more love to give than she knows what to do with. But I would also like to say that if you ever find yourself in a friendship like this one, you would be perfectly justified in walking away. I would have been perfectly justified in walking away then and there. I didn't, though. And yes, like I said earlier, I 100% would be out of this so fucking fast. And I admire you for not deciding to leave, OP. I don't know how you found the intestinal fortitude to continue on and try and save this woman, but I'm so glad that you did. We were out of touch for a few days before she arrived at my apartment one night. She was crying, looking for a place to crash. A scene that has occurred in my life so many times that I cannot begin to express how predictable it has become. Like just with Alice or with the parade of women that you seem to attract. I suppose it doesn't really matter. But yes, predictable. I, of course, invited her in and let her tell me what was wrong. Now, trigger warning here, what I'm about to describe, I consider sexual assault. I could be wrong about this, but to me, it is what it is. You can tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. OP opens up with, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" Alice, "No, Moneybeard did something disgusting to me." OP, "What did he do?" Alice, "Well, we were on a break at work and he wanted me to give him head in his car, which I was fine with, but he wanted me to swallow and I don't do that. I told him that before we started." This situation is already so gross. Zero respect for her at all. I mean, wifey's given up a little bit of the road dome before, but not at work, on break, or whatever. Like, people could just walk by and see. No. I don't think I'm down for that. But somehow I think this story is going to get even worse than just giving a blowjob in a car. Because at this point, Alice stopped telling the story and started sobbing. And my stomach twisted up in knots. I already did not like where this was going. Oh, me either, OP. It's not gonna be good, is it? When she calmed down, she continued. Alice, "So when he finished, he held my head down and just kept saying, 'Swallow it.' He held me down and I couldn't breathe. And I had no choice. I threw up like 3 times in the bathroom after that. Yes, 100% sexual assault. Non-consensual act. Wee-woo, wee-woo. Somebody call the fucking cops." I don't know if this is something he could get arrested for, but at least get it on record. I bet he could be arrested for that, honestly. Like I said, non-consensual act. This is abusive as fuck. Is this the point where she leaves? Please tell me. Please give me some catharsis, please. I was legitimately without words. This seemed so wrong to me. I did the only thing I could do. I asked what happened afterwards. OP, well, what did you do about it? Alice, I told him that I didn't like that and not to do it again. Oh, he's been so respectful in the past. I'm sure he's going to listen. Oh, it hurts me. It hurts me deep down, dude. OP, how did he react to that? Alice, he said, "You're my woman. If I want you to swallow, you need to respect me and swallow." OP, I'm pretty sure that's sexual assault. Alice, no, I willingly gave him head. OP, yeah. And then he forced you to perform an action against your will by force. I'm with OP on this one, 100%. Honestly, I can't even pick which of these 3 beards is the worst. I mean, Hubbybeard probably takes the cake. He's 25, she's 14. Yeah, he's first against the wall. Then we got Confederatebeard, who almost killed her by shooting her with a gun. Okay, I suppose second against the wall. And then we've got Moneybeard, who forced her to perform a sexual act against her will. Somehow, by some miracle, that is the least worst beard in this story. Oh my God. Alice, what have you had to put up with? Christ, dude. Alice says, "No, it's not like that. It's just something gross he did." No, it is like that, except that this is what happened. This situation is entirely untenable. This shows such a lack of respect for you. Please respect yourself enough to take a stand on this. All of a sudden, we were interrupted by her phone ringing. It was Moneybeard, and she instantly picked it up, putting it on speakerphone. Moneybeard, "Where the fuck are you?
You know you're supposed to come home after work.
Alice. Oh, I'm just going to the gym. Moneybeard.
I didn't say you could go to the gym. You better be home in the next 20 minutes, or I'm gonna leave you.
Oh, don't tempt me. What the fuck? Why not the next 10 minutes? I ain't coming home. Pack your shit. I've never had a breakup this easy. Thanks. But again, Alice scared of being alone. To a point that I can't even imagine. Looking at the situation she's been through this lens, I'm so quick to leave. I have no idea why she's hanging on to this loser. Alice says, okay, I'm sorry. You just apologized for your own sexual assault? Essentially? Oh, I hate it. I hate it. She said this in a downtrodden voice of resignation. Moneybeard.
And if you miss curfew again, I'm gonna make you sleep on your lawn.
What'd you say there? My lawn? That's right. Get the fuck out of my house. The phone call disconnected, and Alice stood and started collecting her things to leave. Please, OP, this is where you take a stand, right? Physically restrain her from going back to this fucking monster. OP says, what the hell do you think you're doing? Alice, I'm going home. I don't want him to leave me. OP, after everything you just told me, you're going back there? Alice, look, he's not perfect, but I love him. I don't want to be alone. OP, Alice, he's just as bad as your exes. Why are you doing this to yourself again? Alice, you don't get it. He's really nice to me when he's in a good mood. There's goodness in him. I'm just overreacting. OP, I'm not gonna stop you. It's your life. You can do what you want with it, but I can't keep watching you do this to yourself. 100% OP, it's time to bail. You want to keep punching yourself in the face? How can I stand by and try to keep forcing you to stop? At a certain point, like I said, untenable. All right. I suppose we're not going to get any catharsis in this episode, which makes it hurt even more. God. Alice said, a real friend would stick by me. She had switched to anger now, be it legitimately at me or not. I couldn't really say. I can say that I found the implication of her statement very concerning. OP, if you don't think that I'm a real friend after 15 years, then I don't know what I am to you. She said nothing as she left. I tried to continue to keep in touch with her, but it became too difficult when Moneybeard began harassing me. He truly believed that I only cared about Alice because I wanted in her pants. Yeah, that's his frame of reference, isn't it? Disgusting though it might be. A position that is so woefully misinformed, it would be comical if it was not infinitely fucking depressing. He would message me, speaking about Alice like she was an object, a stance on significant others she would later confirm that he held. He would say disgusting things about her and continue to assert that I was unwelcome in her life. In time, it worked. I allowed myself to let my friend go and to allow Alice to follow this path. Fuck. That cuts so deep, dude. I can't even imagine how spending 15 years trying to get this person to see what they are doing is hurting themselves, and they just never take the hint, never decide to pick up the love that you're putting before them just because it's not sexual love. OP has been a better friend to you than basically anybody else on the planet. And simply because you don't call him dear and come home to him at night, before curfew, of course, he's not worth listening to? That's so ridiculous. I didn't expect to, start crying a little bit in this episode, but goddamn, dude. It is so heavy to just have it break apart like that because of some shit stain. It's hard to digest. Please, we've got 3 paragraphs left. Just give me something. I don't want it to end like this. Fast forward to the current day. Alice has no contact with her children, her family, any of her old friends. God damn. I speak to her from time to time, and the story has only gotten worse. She works 2 jobs, the money from which she's not allowed to spend, as Moneybeard continues to gamble all of his money away. All of their money away, I'm pretty sure you mean. Fuck, man. This is like some worst case scenario stuff. He uses her credit cards and checks to pay for his car, his phone, the house payments, the utilities. All of her money is his, and all of her time is his. She has no privacy, no freedom, and is a grown woman with a 10 p.m. curfew. I wish this story had a happy ending, but such an outcome is yet to be seen. Why did I write this? You might think Moneybeard isn't a neckbeard, he's a fucking monster. And I might be inclined to believe that, but a smarter man than me asserts that neckbeardery comes from a sense of entitlement and delusions of grandeur. I definitely think that he fits the build. I don't know if I could rightly call myself smarter than you, OP. You use the word apoplectic in this story. But honestly, yeah, he does fit the mold. The biggest, most horrible beard on the inside. And I'm so depressed that she never got away. I'm just gonna have to lean into, yet. She hasn't gotten away yet. Eventually, surely she's gonna put this together, right? Surely she's gonna leave, right? Please, somebody tell me it's gonna be okay. Fuck, man. I get so invested in Alice over the past, like, hour and a half. Oh, God, I hate it, man. Tragedy indeed. This is one of the most tragic one-shots that we've ever had on the channel. I'm shocked. I'm appalled. How can you save somebody from themselves? God damn. The other reason that I wrote this is for the therapeutic value. Alice has approached me to help her escape, and I'm more than capable of facilitating that. Do it, please, OP. Just, okay, I know it's been 15 years and she pushed you away and made the wrong choices, but maybe this time, maybe. The issue is that I'm conflicted as to whether or not, after so many repetitions of the same behavior, me putting her up in my house is really gonna change anything. It's one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life. In many ways, I wouldn't blame someone laying all of this at Alice's feet and saying she is the one that did this. I also wouldn't blame those who think Alice is a victim of circumstance and still needs time to heal properly. I find myself leaning to the latter, but that doesn't make the decision any easier. I want my friend back, and I want her to have all the things that she wants in life, all the things that she deserves in life. I want her to finally be free and find a respectable person to settle down with. I want this story to have a happy ending for her. With all that said, I want to thank y'all for taking the time to read this dark and rather slapdash Neckbeard story. If there's any more to add to the story in the coming months, I'll make an update post. I have a feeling that this story has not yet reached its climax. To all you lovely people out there, remember to love yourself. It is literally the most important person that you can love. Gotta be real honest with you, OP, I have no idea how to feel about that either. She wants to escape. If I'm her only means of escape, okay. Okay, one more chance, but how many one more chances are there going to be? You know, how many times can you save her from herself? Such a hard call to make. She definitely has been a victim of circumstance. It started super freaking young, and yeah, she hasn't given herself enough time to heal between this parade of losers. So, okay, I will agree to help her out with the one caveat that she has to keep herself single for this set period of time, work on herself, become her own person. And the more time she spends being put upon like this, the harder that's going to be for her. She's pushing what, 30 or 40 at this time, and already has spent the vast majority of her life under the thumb of somebody who never even viewed her as a person, whether that be the institution or the pedophile Hubbybeard or the almost shoot you Confederate beard or the swallow my coom Moneybeard. I just hate it. I hate everything about it. As much as I like to consider myself 100% disinvested, not my circus, not my monkeys, after hearing all of this, how can you leave her there? You know? It's difficult to give Endless one more chances, but it's a whole lot more difficult to leave her there and know that you could have done something. If she ends up stabbed to death, if he ends up stabbed to death, and she ends up in jail forever, the entire situation is horrible, and I wish that it wasn't what it is. But as we found out through a lot of Neckbeard posts, a lot of Ramtide posts too, not everything ends up with a nice happy bow on top of it. So I will be looking out for the update to this story if it ever comes. We can slap them together in a little compilation. But this is like depression on the level of Firebeard, and it is so much to take in. I don't know if I was ready for it today. I did feel my voice cracking, a few tears welling up near the end there. But I asked for this, you know? Like, after feeling so much rage, maybe some sad will bring me around. And in a way, it did. Crying is healthy. It's like a little shower for your soul. So I thank you for sharing the story with me, OP. I hope that we will get that happy fairy tale ending before too long, because it is 100% true. Alice deserves it. I hope she can stop hurting herself long enough to see that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, I hope you like, comment, and or subscribe. That is super important. Maybe share the video around if you're brave. I mean, this one is a lot to take in. Probably not the best introduction to ReddX, but it does hit different. So if that's what you're looking for, go right ahead. We got all kinds of links in the description as well. Plugs, playlists, podcasts, Spotify, iTunes. I'm everywhere out there. We've also got my social medias, Twitter, Discord, Facebook, Twitch, where I didn't record this one today, but I will be very interested to see what the comments and the chat would have to say about the situation. We've also got my Patreon and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons, whom I would like to thank as I do every episode, Jerry much. So thank you. Why not being Jerry, Dark Delicious, Harley Hogan, Repent the Squirrel, Robert Allen Waits, Camille Sarah, Chance the Blue Kraken, Malama Man, Roxanne Wolf, Sim Jerry, Conrad Engie, Captain Clown Jerry, Hong Kong, Destiny Piper, Aaron Jerry, Alexa Smith, Broken Logic, Esteban, Frog, Leg Side, might be the end for I wear, you hang in there. Or Gabby Steve, Bean Palm with a bag of bottles without towel, Jerry, beg for forgiveness. No forgiveness here. Silent Revolver, PCB, Jerry, the original Jerry, that's the OG Jerry. Take Jerry, Jerry's considered a 211 Jerry, the two Jerrys, a tiny boy, the guard chihuahua, I will bite your ankles. You might catch him in the comments for reals. A very tired Jerry, a Justy Jargonia Jerry, and Frankenberry. It's a hot bitch in there. X-Men XO, Assassin Punk Jerry, Aurora Wildheart, X-Egg Grizzly, Baby Jerry, Bailey Joy, Bearded Jerry, Bitch Gremlin, Blake the Hero, Blip Jerry, Calvin Jerry, Chelsea Kitsune, Commander J Tank, Confederate Jew, Dennis Dayton, Dr. Lux, Duck, just Duck, Emergent Jewel, Aaron Era, Esports 50, Frozen Over Studios, Fire Drake, Gypsy, Adrian BR, I'm some Jerry, I'm the real Jerry, Irish Pirate, so Leprechaun Below Decks, Twisted or a Stowaway Jerry, Iron Hollow, welcome to the fold, friends, Irradiated Jam, Itchy Nuts, Just Scratching Pro, a Pimp named J Chris, JM Coon, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Knight, Jerry Evil, Jerry the Outlaw Mother Trucker, Jerry Beans, now with Green Apple and Jerry Berry flavors, yes, patent pending, John Hero, John Jerry, Jingleheimer Schmidt, Crew He, Legend Maker, this Monday, Lord Jerry, like and subscribe, Milady Dix, the next to the last Jerry Bender, Marvel Mabel, Melgar Destroyer, Metal Factor, Needless King 89, Nightmare Jerry, Paragon Soul, Fate of the Pines, Jerry Jerry Beth, Queen's Quaaludes and Quagmires, Ramtide Lacromates, Rose Jerry Miller, TSM Kirby, Sarita the Lolita, Sassy Octopus, Scarlet Kevin, Serena Moore, Sergeant Gaycop, Bring on the Law, Silo Wimp, Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Boosted, Brilliant Tomago, Tabby Blue, Taylor Fair, Tenton Monster, the Italian Greyhound Dino, the Little Sue, the Witcher Fusky, trying to find another Bob to get back to the real world. You probably don't want to blow into that balloon, not suggestion. Invisible B, V3 Prime, Vanguard Angel, Viking Jerry, Wiki Tech, Lil Max, Zephyr the Gargoyle, or Clay. It's Jerry time. Holds ReddX Morpher, Self-Reflection. That's Luca. Comrade Mooney, Kira, not another Jerry, but he is though. Redwind, not the Viper, Saint Blessing, Third Stuff, Venom Jerry, Jace Precision, One Leg Jerry was stolen by Pissant, a normal Jerry, Activate, Transformation Belt, Headshine, Tobin, Rider, Beard Grease. I don't understand the reference. Admiral T-Tech, Amber Alder, another stupid hipster, Atomic Jerry Zilla, Babsy Coon, Bartender Keeler, Blueberry and Apple Pie, Broken Spine Horseradish, Cake Jerry, the original, different Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Chevron 7, Lock, Chicago, Panda, Cody, secretly a Jerry operative. Watch out. Corporal Lambo, Warrior, Wool Jerry, Crypt Titties, D Crazy, aka STI Jerry, the Fawn Jerry, Death to Tuna, Dopamine Dane Jerry is Dwarfy Dude, Dose of Alpha, he cannot. Janitor Jerry, made it across the Finland. Only cost me a handful of bottles, paying flat to be. Jeffrey, Geralt of Rivia, Jerry and Tom versus Happy New Year's, Webby Apocalypse, Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry's mom has got it going on. Check out that mustache on Jerry Old Rivera, Jerry Roxas, Jerry Role Playing Game, Judge Jerry and Executioner, Keaton Tails, Kid Marvelous, Kids Again, Life of Guardian, Lil Woods, Lucia Lovecraft, Mama Chia, CD, maybe next time Milkbed, get Miss Duchess, not Invisible Angel, Raptor, she's my Jerry Pie, Cool Drink of Water, what a beer surprise. guys, Snary, that's Snob Jerry, if you don't know. Snowman, what is best in life? To crush your neckbeards, to put their feet to Jesus, to hear the lamentation of their body pillows. I hope that one never changes, honestly. Spooky the Rogue, Spoopy, Scary, Jerry Ton, Techno Dubs, the original Jerry, not, to Infinite Jerry and beyond. We go in there. Unkale, Underwater Movies, formerly the X-Card, Unfortunate Jerry screaming at Nookie's latest magical girl transformation. Make it stop! Throws 2-liter Mountain Dew. Grow my neckbeard, grow! It's Jerry time. Holds ReddX Morpher. Hygiene. It's Jerry time. Holds ReddX Morpher. Humility. And thank you, of course, to all my gorgeous $1 patrons as well. Another month almost passed us by already, friends. Thank you guys so much. The Patreon has been blowing up recently, and I hope that it will continue to do so. If you guys can support, that's absolutely huge. If you can't afford to do it, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos. Yes. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. Especially you, Alice. And I will see you in the next one. So until then, friends, bye-bye.